Welcome to the YCharts July monthly market wrap. My name is Joe with the YCharts team, and I'm here to recap all the major market events from the month of July. Let's get to it. With the U.S. closing in on a 50% full vaccination rate against COVID-19, many have been enjoying a return to their regular lives. But a recent surge in the Delta variant of the disease has daily cases on the rise again in the U.S. Though a real glimmer of hope is that related deaths are falling, and the ratio of deaths per day to cases per day is similarly declining. It seems as though the vaccine is doing its job by reducing the severity of many cases and preventing deaths. And our Off the YChart segment this month deals with the road to wealth, showing that if you would put $10,000 into the SPY, Spider S&P 500 ETF, when it first went public back in 1993, you would have added another zero to that figure this month at $100,000. But including dividends, that same $10,000 investment actually yielded a 16x return over around 3 decades and a fair share of corrections, bubbles, and crises along the way. Now, this illustration of price growth to total return and how it can build wealth is an important one to discuss with clients. So in order to recreate a powerful visual that illustrates wealth, let's hop into the YCharts tool and show you how you can recreate something like this. So we'll bring in our security, which is the SPY trust, and we'll bring in price and total return level as financial metrics to illustrate price growth versus total return. If there are any Buffett indicator believers, which shows where valuations might stand at any given time, we can bring in US total market cap as a percent of GDP. And if we wanted to narrow down just the S&P 500, we can create a custom ratio down here that illustrates S&P 500 market cap versus GDP. And that is a way you can show clients the power of compounding interest and growing wealth over time using YCharts. Now back to the market wrap. In major index returns, the S&P 500 rose 2.4% in July, thanks to a strong quarter of earnings. But the big story is that the MSCI Emerging Markets Index tumbled 6.7%, largely in part to the major Chinese stock sell-off. It's worth noting that the MSCI EM Index is 37.5% weighted in China. And 9 out of 11 sectors were positive in July. Healthcare led the way with a 4.9% gain, while real estate, utilities, and technology were all not far behind. Financials slipped 0.5%, but the big loser was energy, finishing July down 8.3% and having sunk over 12% at one point during the month. And our hot stocks of the month focus on healthcare heating up. 6 of the 10 stocks that made the cut were healthcare names, the biggest one of all being Moderna, surging 50.5% in July, thanks to strong vaccine sales in Asia and receiving a golden ticket to join the S&P 500. And in Laggards and Losers this month, hot stock summer was brought to an abrupt halt as shares of Las Vegas Sands, Wynn Resorts, Norwegian Cruise Line, Carnival, and Caesars Entertainment all missed EPS and revenue generally across the board. On the flip side, energy companies Diamondback, Occidental Petroleum, Marathon Oil, and Phillips 66 were all hit hard, largely due in part to U.S. crude oil sinking below $70 a barrel in July. And finally, in economic data, job openings are at an all-time high and the CPI is surging. The CPI has hit an all-time high at 271, with the CPI month over month logging one of the largest month-over-month changes on record. Thanks again for watching the market wrap. That'll do it for us here. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe to our content mediums. We have a lot of great YouTube information, tutorials, and market news. We do have these market wraps, both this US version and Canada, online on our blog, which also has a lot of YCharts updates, market news, and interesting research. Please go check those out, and if nothing else, thanks again for spending 5 minutes with us, and we'll see you back here in September for the August monthly market wrap with YCharts.